It might seem strange to say there can be anything unexpected about one of the most well-known books ever written. But for all its familiarity, The Lord of the Rings is a deeply idiosyncratic book. Here are 5 things about Tolkien's epic story that can surprise first-time readers. Number 1. The Lord of the Rings is not really a novel. Before we even get to the first page of the first chapter, there are about 15 pages of prologue, covering such topics as Hobbit culture, the social organisation of the Shire, and their complicated record-keeping habits. Why all this window dressing? Well, the quick answer is world building. But it's more than that. Tolkien liked reading history, true or feigned, and The Lord of the Rings really is feigned history. Tolkien doesn't claim to be the author of this book. Instead, he tells us that he's merely translating this story from an ancient source. And as an expert in medieval literature, Tolkien knew exactly what scholarly editions of ancient texts should look like. They have prologues, footnotes, appendices, many appendices. The Lord of the Rings is presented as a historical artifact, not as a modern novel. Number 2. The opening chapters can seem slow. Readers who give up on The Lord of the Rings usually do so within the first 9 of the book's 62 chapters. This part of the book is leisurely, sometimes whimsical. When Tolkien takes a break from descriptions of eating, singing and bathing, he gives us randomly aggressive trees, haunted grave mounds, and a weird guy in yellow boots. None of this seems particularly relevant to the plot. It's no surprise that the movies skipped past most of this. But Tolkien's work is about far more than getting from point A to point B in the central story. Middle-earth is not just a background, it's almost a character in its own right, with a deep and complex past and wide horizons stretching far beyond the boundaries of the book itself. The rise of Sauron won't just endanger our central characters, but the entirety of this world. So when Tolkien waxes lyrical about everything from simple pleasures to the starry sky, he's giving us a proper sense of the stakes here. Number 3. The writing style constantly changes. We think of great writers as having a distinctive style of writing, a characteristic literary voice. But Tolkien doesn't. Or rather, he has several, and this can take some getting used to. His prose varies radically in the course of the 1,000 or so pages of The Lord of the Rings. The opening chapter, for instance, is written in a chatty style, teeming with dry humour. But in more serious moments, the prose shifts into a very formal register, often using archaic language. And these stylistic shifts can sometimes have even more specific significance. The culture of the people of Rohan is based on that of the Anglo-Saxons, so it's fitting that when the Rohirrim ride into battle, the prose suddenly bristles with one of the defining characteristics of Anglo-Saxon poetry: dense alliteration. Number 4. Unexplained lore and language. The Lord of the Rings is full of references to the history and societies of Middle-earth. But it's striking how many such references go completely unexplained. We even get snippets of languages invented by Tolkien himself, and they aren't always translated. But all this is part of Tolkien's world building. After all, in the real world, we're constantly coming across cultural references that we don't understand. This is particularly true if we're encountering people and places that are unfamiliar to us, and that, of course, is what our viewpoint characters, the hobbits, are doing. It also creates a sense of depth. Middle-earth doesn't just exist to serve the plot of The Lord of the Rings. There are what Tolkien termed glimpses of a large history in the background. Number 5. The epic battles are a sideshow. In The Lord of the Rings, it's not ultimately rulers or warrior heroes who save the world, but much more ordinary individuals. In fact, Tolkien described the book as a study of the ennoblement or sanctification of the humble. But it's not only the resolution of the tale that bears this out. It's the space Tolkien gives to outwardly unspectacular struggles throughout the story. In the final 2 volumes, Tolkien gives us plenty of spectacle, but he devotes just as much space to the distinctly non-epic journey of the ring-bearers. The contrast between the epic and the everyday is so great that it can sometimes feel like reading two different stories. With rare exceptions, the problems of the ring quest are mundane ones: hunger, exhaustion, fear, but they are detailed with as much care as the grandest of conflicts. The core of Tolkien's story is not warfare or marvels, because the most important battle of all is taking place in the human heart.